Okay, well, geez, that's not centered very well. There we go. That's a little better. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody here. Glad to have you here. How's everyone doing today on your Saturday? Hopefully, I've got the right setting here for like the latency thing. I tried to use the ultra low latency thing so that we wouldn't have huge gaps between us. There was used to be like 30 to 45 seconds sometimes, and now hopefully it shouldn't be. No, like it buffered for me for just a second there too. Looking at this, hopefully that stops. I'm well glad to hear it, Mr. Gray Wolf. That tells me it's what the bro. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do something here. It could actually be the DN 1.0.0.1. Let's try this. Hopefully this stops it. Getting a lot of buffers too. Outstanding. Yeah, because I'm not having any issues on my end necessarily. I did just change like my DNS settings here locally. I was seems more stable. Don't change anything yet. No, I just changed my DNS settings here. Right, it's always DNS. I went. If you guys followed me on social media here recently, I've made some different changes to my AdGuard home setup. I had originally switched it to use like DNSSEC and DNS over HTTPS. And that was fine, but everybody's always talking about Unbound, that sort of thing. And I was like, screw it, I'll try Unbound. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be to set up, but but sometimes Unbound can cause the occasional issues. So hopefully, at least out here on this computer, what doesn't really matter, it shouldn't be an issue. Val says at the moment everything's on point, buffering stops. Awesome, yeah. So that's got to be what it was. Probably the Unbound setup, because this is the first time I'm streaming since I changed everything to Unbound. And sometimes Unbound can just be a little wonky the first time it hits an IP or an IP address or a server or whatever. So cool. So this computer won't use the house's DNS. I don't care. Like this computer really only gets used for streaming and tutorials, that sort of thing. So it doesn't necessarily need all of the extra stuff on there, at least for right now. So yeah, so it looks like the buffering has stopped. That's good. Obviously, you guys can hear me and see me, and I've got the thumbs up on that more or less, and that's good. Glad to have all of that. Before you got going, can you put the link? It should be in the video description. I think it should be in the video description. It is, but I will also post it there. So if you guys want to submit your Homelabs to have us take a look at in an upcoming live stream. Sorry, I'm just making sure nothing super important was going on there. If you guys want to submit your Homelabs and have us take a look at them in an upcoming live stream, that would be awesome. We had, I think, 4 or 5 submissions last week. Obviously, we're not doing that this week. I want to kind of break it up and do those like once or twice a month, maybe. But I had a lot of fun doing that. I was really glad to see what some people were doing with their Homelabs. I thought that was pretty cool. So hopefully we can keep doing those as long as we keep getting submissions. I think we've got 3. Let me look just to see kind of what's going on. Yeah, I've got 3 emails here, but 2 of them are from the same person because they sent an updated version. So I've got 2 submissions. Glenn says he'll be home Monday. Get some pictures and do a write-up. That'd be awesome. I'm guessing you're out on the road doing the long haul thing this weekend again. But yeah, so thank you to everybody who's here, who's hanging out. Appreciate you. What happened this week? I'm trying to think. Did the Open Media Vault 8 video? That one it's doing fine, I guess. I was obviously hoping for more, um, but it was well received, and I was stoked for that, especially since it was more of a talking head video. Sometimes I got to take into consideration what the format of the video is before I criticize myself in a video reception too much. Hopefully, the upcoming videos in this series will make people happy. Again, not huge changes between 7 and 8, but some good stuff, some underlying changes with the base operating system and the kernel and those sorts of things. Yeah, so that's what happened. That's what happened for me this week. Vaz is changing my home setup to update some stuff. Definitely send you some stuff when I'm done remodeling. Awesome. I may at some point take a look at what's going on behind me here, because it's not nearly as much as it looks like. There's just a lot of filler going on right now that I need to really reconfigure and make better use of that space. But yeah, I'm sure eventually we'll take another look at mine. I just like looking at what you guys have got set up and that sort of thing. So always appreciate getting those. So yeah, I was going through the self-host newsletter this week. It came out yesterday. And there were, there we go. There were a few different Homelab dashboards this week. And people really seem to like Homelab dashboards. And I think that's awesome. I have one that I use, but not, in fact, I think you guys saw it, right? Yeah. Oops. I'll just put that there for right now, just as a placeholder. But like this is currently, oh, you know what? I need to fix that. There we go. That's better. So I finally got this fixed. And cause like all of this column was down, speed test was down, uptime Kuma was sort of working. And then I changed the setups on both of my ad guards. So the other day I just took some time and reconfigured everything to do the stuff that it needs to do, and it seems to be working pretty well now. But I'm always interested to see what else is out there for a Homelab dashboard kind of thing. So again, I was looking through self-host newsletter this week. I can find it. Damn it, it's right there. And there were a few different ones here this week. These are all updates. There we go. So anyway, if you go down to the video description or the live stream description, you'll find links to the 4 dashboards that we're going to kind of dig around a little bit in today. I don't know that we'll get to all of them, but there's one of them that I've already taken a look at that I kind of like, though I've had to figure out some workarounds on a couple of things already. And the other 3 I haven't really taken a look at yet, so we'll see what happens. Let's see. I thought the video was good, pointing out the changes. Glad to hear that. I created a modern server dashboard inspired by Homer. Homer and Dashdot. Let me know if you'd like to take a look. I would, Null Void. I would like to take a look at that. I don't know if you're in the Discord. You could share it there. Or if you can, I don't know if you can be clever about sharing it here in chat. But I'd be happy to take a look at it. Like I said, I'm always looking for new dashboards to take a look at. I need to switch this. Let me just pop these open real quick. But take a look at some pictures. So this is Dashma, I guess, from Lungshot. Dashboard start page, not much going on there. And we can kind of see what this looks like, which I kind of dig. I like the column layout thing going on there. I think aesthetically it looks nice. I don't know what you can do with it yet because again, I haven't installed it. What's this one? The Elite Container Dashboard. This one's like a full monitoring kind of thing. There's a picture here that I guess we can see. Local server, media server, and you can kind of see what's on each one. I think that's kind of interesting. Again, these are kind of the 4 that I saw in this week's newsletter. This is Get Mando. Is that what it's actually called? Just a beautiful, simply dashboard. This one I like. I kind of like the aesthetic of this. I like that that you can break it down into categories. What I don't like about this one, and it's one of the things I don't like about Homepage as well, is that it's all set up through YAML files. And sometimes, man, YAML files I'm kind of over YAML files for configuration. I would rather just log into something and make the changes and be done with it, versus having to go in and modify a YAML file if I want to make a change. So anyway, and then we've got, what is this one? Roam page. I actually kind of dig this one. I've already got this one set up, and have messed around with it a little bit. But I like the aesthetic of this one quite a bit. It's very nice. It's very easy to kind of get an idea of what's going on there. There's one thing I don't like about it, and we'll get into that maybe here in a little bit. But that's kind of the 4 that I've got on my list here to take a look at. Let me come back up to here. Glenn says, I've discovered days that I'm driving during stream, I can just pop it up on the phone and listen through the truck stereo while I'm grinding the miles. Cool. I'm glad you're able to hang out that way anyway. Crazy Finn says, I still haven't got a good dashboard set up yet. Still an Organizer V2, but I've been trying Homepage and Homer. Still not happy with either. Like, I really liked Organizer V2. I liked that one a lot. Used it for years. I've looked at Homer several times, and it's fine, I guess. Let me make sure it's the one I'm thinking of. Let me see. No, it's not. It's not. It is this one. Yeah, I don't like this random, I don't know. I don't like the way it builds. I don't like it seems like it's too easy for it to get sloppy very, very quickly when you're just dragging stuff around and resizing on the fly and that. Like, I get that a lot of people will like that. I will like that, that ability to customize it that granularly. But it doesn't work for my brain the way I want it to. There's another one whose name escapes me entirely. I'm sure it'll come up at some point, but it's got a very retro vibe to it. And that one always, I didn't like that one either. But you know, like, that's just it. Like, just because I don't like it doesn't mean that a million other people won't and won't find it useful. So, that's what I love about what people are doing as far as creating these apps that fill their need, and then they share it with everyone else. And hopefully it builds a following of sorts. Andrew says, I forced myself into using a dashboard by coding one myself, and now it's pretty useful to me. I love that. I think that's amazing. I love that you run into a situation where you didn't find what you wanted, so you built what you wanted, and I think that's awesome. So we're going to go to GitHub Orbit Dash. Okay. All right, dig that. Orbit Dash is yet another modern server dashboard inspired by Dash.Homer and Homar. I hate that those are two separate things. Was it this one? I'm trying to see if, no. Man, really? No pictures? I'm immediately out. Intended for use on home private server, built with TypeScript, React, Tailwind. Awesome. Container image on GHCR. Love that. Connected. So we've got some metrics for RAM, CPU. I love it. It's simple. It does what it needs to do. You can upload your own. Okay, I love that. That's one of the things I think a lot of places lack is the ability to upload your own. They always rely on using a third-party service, and if that service goes down, then your icon is down, and that sucks. So I love that you made it so you can upload your own. That all looks great. Data persistence, stored in a SQLite database, uploaded and downloaded service icons and in their own folder. Dude, that's awesome. We'll keep this one open. Maybe we'll take a look at this one too. Because again, I'm always looking for good dashboards just to check out and see what people are doing. So no, thank you for sharing that. Jason said he also noticed a lot of dashboards in this newsletter. Yeah. Haven't really used Git or a dashboard per se. Use Prox menu X to see stuff on my Proxmox server and the default Unraid dashboard for that server. That makes sense. Oh, hold on. I hate when I scroll down just a little bit in the chat and it's just like, here's the bottom of the list. Holy crap. There we go. Warnings all over the place for Homer. That's interesting. In order to get my services from a single page, I use Heimdall. I used to use Heimdall quite a bit. I liked that one a lot. What's your take on the AI coded dashboards? I have mixed feelings on them, and that's kind of one of the things that we're going to run into in the dashboards that we're taking a look at today, right? So if we look at, I'm gonna hold on. I can actually do it this way, right? Cool. So Dashma. If we scroll down, Dashma, it's got AI, Leet container, get Mando, Leet container. It's got AI. You can see this little icon right here. When you see this icon in the newsletter, it's AI. Mando has got AI, and then Rome page, also AI. So all four of the dashboards that we're taking a look at in this live stream, or could potentially look at in this live stream, are AI assisted. Now, there's a difference between vibe coded and AI assisted, and I think vibe coded. While I'm not a fan of vibe coded stuff in production, I think there's a place for AI assisted development in production. But I think the stipulation on that is that somebody on the team, whether it's somebody on the team or somebody hired by the team who is qualified, needs to do a code review of the application before it goes into production if it's vibe coded. Because in my opinion, this is my opinion, let's say somebody jumped onto Claude Code or whatever, right? And was like, hey, I want you to build this dashboard that does X, Y, and Z, right? The code may be brilliant, but in my opinion, it is still vibe coded until it's been actually code reviewed and verified that it is safe and that the code is decent, at least decent enough to not wreck your system, to not open your system to vulnerabilities, that sort of thing. So AI being involved doesn't bother me as much, and I've said this before. If it's been qualified by somebody, if it's been reviewed by somebody who's qualified to do the code review, I think that's super important, and I think that's the difference between AI assisted and vibe coded. Vibe coded is just any dickhead out there can have AI build something, but it will stay vibe coded, in my opinion, until it's actually been properly code reviewed by somebody who can do a proper code review. So that's my take on it. Glenn says definitely a GUI guy. I hate YAML files. Yeah. I go back and forth. I'm just in a lazy phase right now. I'm dealing with brain stuff in a multitude of ways, but when I'm in one of these modes, I want things to be as easy as possible, and I don't want to dig through code and that sort of thing. So, it's great, but not a good excuse to not build a good UI. I agree with that. So using Glance with homepage. Glance hasn't been updated in a while, worried it'll get abandoned. Yeah, I've run into a few of those over the years where I find a project that I really love and then it gets abandoned, and that always sucks. Timothy clarified. Sorry, I got confused. I meant the Hunter. Yeah, so there was a bit of. In fact, I think I actually posted about that on social media this week. It got brought to my attention in Discord, I think. It got brought to my attention. I'm pretty sure it was Discord. And yeah, so I made a post about it and shared that everywhere, where somebody had built a Hunter and then vanished, and like the GitHub vanished, their user account on Reddit vanished, like just weird stuff going on. So I don't know, man. I don't know anything more about it than that. Yeah, Hunter is the one that just went away. For me, Homer was missing the things that I like in Homepage and Glance. Homer's great mobile view and added links on the fly. Had big security issues. That doesn't surprise me. I love open source apps and Docker apps. I recently found a new app in development called Sharkerd that serves as a Discord replacement. Well, that's interesting. I haven't heard of that. I'm going to copy that and open this in a new tab and take a look. The open source self-hosted chat program. Let's take a quick look. Open source chat for program or platform for friends who value privacy, voice, video, and screen sharing without the bloat, surveillance. Read the docs. Got an image here. It very much looks like a stripped down sort of Discord, which I don't hate. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Video, voice, text, and screen sharing without the bloat, memory leaks, or corporate surveillance. Let's see, your data, your rules, run anywhere, crystal clear quality, lightweight and fast. Fully open source, no artificial limits. Love to see that. Your data, your server. Wow. Well, that's cool. I'm going to actually save this over here. I'm just going to save it here, I guess. I've started using Obsidian finally. Jumped on that bandwagon over the last week or so, and I've got my own sync server set up, so that's actually pretty cool. Come on, God damn it! There it is. I'm the same way. No screenshot, and I'm out. Yeah, sorry, I'm way behind, guys. I know. Another Hunter. Just remove Hunter from your stack. Are you still using URLs primarily? No, I'm definitely still using URLs for my link shortener. Have been using the same instance for years effectively. Heimdall's good. I love Heimdall. Also need to state that it's vibe coded. I agree. I 100% agree with that. Most developers are using at least one AI tool. Look, and again, I don't hate that people are using AI tools. It needs to be reviewed by somebody. More than that, teams, nothing. No one actually having the yeah. One of the other problems that I have with people who are vibe coding stuff is they will build the app and walk away, right? But they often won't continue to maintain that app. So even if the code's good from the start, right? Even if it's code reviewed and it's good, people who vibe code things don't know how to then go back, oftentimes anyway, to do additional updates and modifications and tweaks and that sort of thing. Or they built it, they're happy, they got their endorphin rush and they're out. So when an app is in that environment, I feel like it's less likely to maintain consistent updates and that sort of thing. So, especially when the team is other agents. Yeah. Collins is here. Yay. Glad to have you here, man. But it vanished. It's rife with vulnerabilities and issues and completely vibe coded. Yeah. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Geeky Dad's here. Tom's here. I think a good homepage dashboard should be one that just works and doesn't require more work to install and maintain than, right? I think it should be. It's an alpha, very cool nonetheless. All you need to do is host it in Docker. I just use homepage. Yeah, that's what I'm using as homepage. The only hassle is adding or removing stuff. Dave's Garage, he did some videos about using AI to build some apps. I think he said another video that he uses AI to do the boring stuff so he can focus on the fun stuff. CVEs are a thing, yeah. Well, and like I said, and I'm pretty sure that Dave from Dave's Garage has got a pretty significant development background. I don't remember what his background is. I just remember that he's got one as far as development is concerned. So, so yeah, if he is using it to do the boring stuff, so he can do the fun stuff and then hopefully go back and code review the stuff that was AI stuff, then I don't have a problem with that. If he's qualified to do the review, then more power to him. Don't switch. Nope. Hold on. New picture over here. Holy balls, dude. Wow. Whew. Wow. Dude, I gotta share that, Vaz. Like, that's brilliant. I think that's amazing. Retired from Microsoft. I knew there was something like that. Here's what Vaz just sent. It says, "Hi, DB Tech and Chat, 28th February 2026. That is significant what you've got going on there. I was hoping. All right, man. Hey, is this the one that you had to like clean up? Is this the one that had like the all of the fiber everywhere? Is that this server or this rack? Man, that is super clean. That I would love to just go stare at that like in person for a minute. It is brilliant. I remember seeing this a couple of weeks ago when it looked nothing like this. Man, that's crazy. I'm gonna bring this out of frame for just a second. That's crazy. Yeah, that's fine. That's funny that got. I want to see media. I want to see if I can find. Oh no. Sorry, I wanted to see over here if I could find that other picture, but it's not there, and that's fine. That's bonkers. Thank you for sharing that. That'd be a lot of fun to just stare at for right. That was the wire jungle. It was, yeah. That was definitely my first question as well. Let's do this. Let's proceed to there. Well done on wrangling that mess, because that was intense. Seriously, like, well done on that. Take the hedge clipper and rewire it, right? Like, that was my thought, and then he told us, it's like, no, I had to be rewired. Like, you couldn't even like just shorten that stuff. All right, Glenn, glad to see you here in a little bit. Savag is here. Glad to have you, man. Let's see this one. Nope, it's this one. Console. Man. I called a friend that has a firefighter that uses Jaws of Life. Man, I can't even imagine. So I guess, you know what, let me find, where is this one? Okay, I think first, let's take a look at Roam page. I say that because I've got it already kind of configured. We can take a look at a couple of things there. The install process on this was real simple. It's literally just this. Again, all of this should be linked in the video description, wherever it is on live streams. I think it's different on live streams than it is like during a VOD. So wherever wherever the information is for the video description, that's where it is. You can find links to all of the different things here. Where did it go? There it is. Yeah, Roam page. So this is the one we're going to take a look at just real quick. I got it's 3046. I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring this over to here, and we'll do this, and we'll do 3046. This, it failed to fetch. There it is. So yeah, this is Roam page. This is kind of how I've got it set up. And what I really like about this, both good and bad, if I'm being completely honest here, is that you edit here, right? And you can build additional sections and that sort of thing. Maybe what we should do is just trash the whole thing and start over. Done. Cool. Here we go. Oh, and the wallpaper. The wallpaper is something that I added. I really like this wallpaper lately. So yeah. So this is what happens when you install Rome Page. Super easy to do stuff with, right? You can click config. I feel like this should do the same as that. Maybe that's just me. Oh, it's a JavaScript flip. Okay, whatever. So you can add a category, right? We'll call it, just call it media, right? Add a service. We'll call it Plex. Automatically fills in, which I love. I love it when they do that. I don't know what the logic is on the code, but I've always thought that was pretty neat. We can give it a description, media server. It's an app. It's self-hosted. You can add. Is it? Oops. Is it Docker? It is Docker. Now that I think about it. What I think is cool about this is if you've got multiple servers of something, right? We'll take a look at this in a minute. You can add multiple servers there. So if I were to do, like HTTP, oops, 192.168.0.83, and it's 32.400/web/index.html, oops, .html. If I could type, there we go. And then we can click done. Yeah, so just that quickly and easily, right? We've got Plex, it's an app, it's self-hosted, it's Docker. And it's up. I actually like that there's a little indicator here that it is up. And if I click it, then hey, look, it opens. Neat. And you can, with this, you can toggle either one column or two columns, which I love. So if I were to go over here and say, we're going to add a new category. We'll call it weather because I know that there's a weather widget. I can do this. And I can say, Colorado Springs, right? Like that. Temperature is going to be in Fahrenheit. Little CSS thing going on there, but whatever. And then, of course, I can scroll back up and click done. And now I've got this 2-column thing going on, and I think that's great. The problem is when you start adding more things. So if we come back to config, and we've got a category for media, we've got a category for weather. Let's say I wanted to do another category that's like infra, right? And then we can add a service. And our service would be like AdGuard. That's a good question, Jason. We're going to find that out in just a second, right? AdGuard home. It popped that in, maybe. I don't think it did because it should have been there. I don't know what the AdGuard is. It just maybe if I just do AdGuard, will that change it? I guess I could also do. I guess we can just browse, right? Oh, hey, look, AdGuard home. There we go. Neat. Description, block ads. It's an app. It's self-hosted. It is not Docker. Now, this is where we can do something different here, I think, that I want to try. Oops. Let me get logged in. Cool, right? So we can do this. We've got like 39 and 212. Yeah, 39 and 212. So my main one is actually, now that I think about it, is 212. But then I can do this. So now I've got two different instances of so I've got two different, sorry, I'm trying to multitask and I'm doing a bad job of it, right? So I've got two different servers set up here for AdGuard because I actually have two different ones here, right? And I don't, yeah, so if we click that, we can actually see both of them. But what you see here is that now our weather is in the left column. I really want it in the right column. And I don't know if I move that up and click done. So you're always kind of having to like Tetris things back together for some reason. But let's actually go in here. Let's take a look because you had a good question. There's a system one, there's an iframe, countdown, separator, text, image, bookmarks. I don't see an option in the widgets for Plex at this time. Again, these are all early development. We don't know if they're ever going to get an update after this. So, you know, it's hard to say what's going to happen. Add system there as a widget that went under Plex. I really feel that should actually go. I can push this down to here, like under there, right? So it's under weather. And that shouldn't affect anything. Here we can see how much RAM this system has and how much disk space. I don't know where it's pulling that 8 gigs unless it's specifically from this LXC. So it can pull system memory and system uptime. And I mean like Proxmox memory and uptime, but not the LXC. So, you know, it is what it is. It's just unfortunate. Middle click opens the first link. Maybe that's, oh, weird. Yeah. So little things like that, but I agree it needs a layout option, right? Like if there's going to be a left column, right column layout here, I feel like you should be able to somewhere in here dictate what goes in the left column and what goes in the right column. Because again, if I let's add one more category. I don't know. Let's just call it blog, right? We're going to add a service. The service is going to be WordPress, right? Now I'm going to change it to DB Tech Reviews, right? And then optional, whatever, I don't care. HTTPS dbtechreviews.com, right? And that's fine. And if I click done, again, now it's over here. And so you're, like I said, you're always kind of playing. Can I just drag this up to be here maybe? Yeah, there we go. And click done. But see, now it's over there. I really want it over in the left column. So there's not a good way that I can see at this point to dictate if something goes in the left column or the right column. And that's unfortunate because I love this. I love how easy it is to build. I love the overall aesthetic. It's easy to add services to. You get a little service check to see if your service is up. You can add additional pages, right? Like you can do config, you can, you know, like more stuff, add a category, you know, and done, and that's fine. And you can toggle back and forth and it changes this. And I think that's amazing. But again, without the ability to very easily control where something is going to land on the page, it's hard for me to, you know, like, I don't know. Do you add a category that breaks things up, like a blank category? Maybe does that do it? That did it. I guess you can do it that way. I mean, I guess that sort of worked. Seems like an extra step, but maybe I found a workaround there. But again, it wasn't super intuitive. Again, I'd like to have this goes in the left column, this goes in the right column kind of thing. There's some font spacing inconsistencies, but has some nice, interesting features. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I think it could probably be adjusted a little bit. That is one other thing that I've noticed in here is there isn't really a you can run a backup. There's no way in here to really oops, not pictures, music, wallpapers. Sure, like that. There we go. There's no way in here to do like custom CSS stuff, which again, I would also like to see. Just because like when you got a wallpaper like this one specifically, like it's hard to read some of your headers if it's on an equally light background. So I'd like to be able to go in and maybe modify some CSS overrides or something in the configuration area. Again, I don't know that that's ever going to be an option. I don't know much about this other than, hey, look, it's deployed and I've messed with it a little bit. But again, I don't hate it. I like the aesthetic. I kind of like the glass theme thing to it. I just wish there was some better ways to control certain things. Again, whether it's the CSS stuff, if they took the wallpaper setting and created a layout, yeah, I think that would be amazing. I agree with you there, Tom. If they could do something like that, that would be amazing. Zippy says, hi from Italy. Well, glad to have you here. Pi4 Official asks, what's your favorite dashboard or primarily used dashboard? Now, those are two different questions. Honestly, I think my favorite dashboard up to this point was Organizer V2. I used it for years because you could do so much with it. You could have iframes in it. You could have services rendered in it. It was all kinds of great stuff in there that I really liked. But it was also kind of cumbersome. For a long time, homepage has been my homepage. Like when I open my browser, this is what I see. So this is my most used dashboard by far. This is literally my homepage. But as far as other things, I really liked Organizer for a long time and had that set up actually on my NAS for a long time, and then started using this instead. Homepage is much more complex and YAML based, but you do get more control. That's true. Just where I currently have it installed is actually on that same NAS. So if I want to update something, I've got to like download the file and edit the file and upload the file, and then it auto refreshes, which is great. But yeah, but again, you've got all kinds of different integrations with it that I really like. Where I can actually see, what's the uptime for my Unify setup. Like what's actively happening on Plex. There's nothing going on with Plex, but in fairness, in order to get this Plex widget to work, I had to install Tautulli for the in between. But you just kind of go in and fill in the blanks and everything's great. But there's a lot of YAML that I'm kind of over, again, just for the sake of my brain being kind of dumb right now. So again, I really, really liked Organizer, but it was also a lot. And it didn't have, at least when I used it, like you had to be logged in to use it. And that's frustrating. I didn't like that. That's kind of which is also one of the perks to a YAML-based system, is that you can edit the YAML files and not need to log in to do it, right? There's always a balancing act. But like with Rome page here, this requires no login and there's no YAML. So if somebody has access to your homepage, they can modify it, whether you want them to or not. JD says YAML's best. Jason says YAML's a pain in the ass, but homepage works too well for me. Yeah, no, and I think that's kind of where I am with it. Like I really like it, but I wish there was a different way to edit it without having to do that. In homepage, I do my changes using VS Code by remote control. I don't hate that. I don't hate that option. And the reality is, like, I could just SSH in and be done with it, and it would be fine. But also, I'm lazy. So, you can find IP address access now, though. With what, Alexander? I'm intrigued by what you've said there. I don't know in reference to what. There should be a way to lock it, and that's a deal breaker. I agree. I 100% agree. They could put a little pin code or something as an intermediate step. You click config, put in a 4-digit pin code, and get access to it that way, or whatever. Right? I feel like there should be something in there, but again, I don't know. This was. Where did it go? Nope. This one in here says somewhere, yeah, AI, or no, there was some mention in here. Anyone who can reach homepage can read and write your full configuration. Oh no, you're good, man. I appreciate the clarification there. I plan to add lock unlock to Orbit Dash, but haven't done it yet. Yeah, so like somewhere in here, it was mentioned that this was AI assisted as far as the development was concerned. I don't remember where it was. I feel like, yeah. No, this project was built with AI assistance, vibe coded. It works well for personal home lab use, but review the code with your own judgment before deploying in sensitive environments, which I think is good that they put that. Just noticed your wallpaper. It's the one I used for my iPad. That's great. Sorry, I bumped the mic there. A few weeks ago, I changed the layout of the live stream, or not just the live stream, but of my video setup here. And originally my wallpapers were all black, but I felt like there was more that could be done. And I was digging around online looking for a wallpaper. I found this and really like it. So this is what I've been using for a while. I've got it on my computer in the other room too. I really like this wallpaper. And I'll never figure out who actually made it, because I found it on a wallpaper website, that just he scrapes things and dumps it. And so I don't know who the original artist is, but I really like it. But anyway, that's Rome page. Again, I really like it. I think maybe finding that workaround with adding the empty category there, maybe the fix that I was looking for, at least for that. But again, this is just one that we're looking at. Let's see. Andrew says, from my dashboard, I've been torn, but either adding functionality directly to the dashboard or adding an integration for specific services. That's a good question. I don't know, man. I don't know. You might be able to set up Organizer to be accessed as a guest. Every time I opened it up, or every time I opened my dashboard, it's like, here's a login screen. And that was frustrating. And I think that's why I switched to homepage initially. We're still on Rome page, Glenn. Freezing, no heating. Geez, that sucks, man. It's actually going to be pretty nice today. Although there's conflicting numbers there. That's weird. Also, I can't help but wonder, I guess 64 degrees right now. Maybe this is the temperature and this is the high? I've got a high of 68 on my phone. I don't know. Yeah, we're still on Rome page, but kind of wrapping up on that. I think we've kind of taken a look at different things there. Add service. I don't know that. It was a widget. Let's look at widgets again. Overclock. That's pretty funny. Clock, weather, bookmarks, text, image, and I guess you could add an image. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. We can open that. We can do an image URL. We can upload. Interesting. There's that. And then done. And hey, look, there's that, and that opens over there. I don't know what it's checking there. That's weird. But anyway, we kind of get the idea of what's going on. Let's actually remove that. And then I guess let's move that image, right? Let's drag this down here somewhere. We'll put it under the system. I also like that it's very easily drag and droppable. Your weather must be in a menopause stage. It's entirely likely. But again, I like that you can just drag and drop things wherever, that sort of thing. But I think I'll be curious to see Rome page if there are any additional updates. It looks like they used Claude for this. If we look at releases, looks like just one release, right? One official release anyway. There were Jellyfin and Pi-hole integration and they were removed to reduce attack surface. The proxy routes and all related front-end coding are removed. The system integration is kept intact. Interesting. Huh. And that was by Claude Sonnet. That's really strange. But anyway, there you go. So I'm trying to find a way to declare integrations as YAML files while building some functionality like notifications directly into the dashboard. Fair enough. Well then, I tell you what, let's do this. This is the one where we are. I'm gonna go back. Let's take a look at Orbit Dash. Let's do that. We're gonna make a directory called Orbit Dash. We'll cd into Orbit Dash, and we'll do a nano compose.yaml. Wow, compose.yaml. There we go. Let's scroll down. Again, we're just taking a look. We're not. That all looks fine. Just started using a Homer. Seems okay. And for some people it is. I'm not a fan of it. We talked about that a little bit earlier. But like, and again, like I mentioned earlier, like that's what I love about the community is that everybody's like, hey, I want to build something this way for my uses. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to share it with the community. And I love that. All right. Well, there we go. That was right up there. Still using Organizer. Yeah, love Organizer. Interesting. We're seeing this up here where it's connected and offline repeatedly. That's really strange. Again, I'm not a developer. I don't know what might be causing that. I don't know if looks like the status is borked. Fair enough. Again, just installing it just to see. Okay, we can do a couple of different layouts there. Let's add a service. I need to add LXCs to my test plans. That's fair. Make a wish list, then go window shopping, right? What's the go-to for you? Again, it's I really like Organizer, but I'm currently using Homepage. Let's do this. HTTP. Do I not know? 168.0.83 2400/web/index.html. Category is going to be media. Oh, see now I got to go over and steal an icon from God dang it! No icons. Plex PNG. I'm just going to copy that link address for right now. Just going to put that in there. There we go. Open there. And hey, look, there it is. Simple, simple, simple. Love that. Let's add a couple more just because. Add guard home 192.168 man 0.212. Call it infra. Oh man. Add guard home. Copy link address. I'm gonna put that there. That's awesome. Right. Copy that. Add service. There it is. Okay, so things get organized by by service. I dig that. I'm actually going to add another something if you can. Now that I'm looking at this, right? I also shared that's cool. I also shared or link to my dashboards repo via the Discord server. Awesome. Cool. No, that's great. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add this. I'm going to add this, add guard home. We're going to do 39 here. What I would encourage here, because I've already got a couple of different categories established in my layout here, infra. If you can have that autofill, so you're not accidentally creating additional unnecessary categories if there's one that already exists. If there's a way to auto-complete that, that's what I would recommend there, I think. Again, not a developer, don't know what that looks like to implement, but let's do that. There we go. Add service. Switch that. Interesting. All right. Well, cool. Simple enough. Andrew shared. Got Dashwise next. All right. Well, we'll take a look at that here in a minute, Andrew. No, I mean, I think this is great. I think it's simple. It's easy to use. I might, for a dashboard, and again, this is me thinking about how I would use this, not necessarily how you're using it or whatever. Let me make sure I'm not zoomed in because I do that sometimes. All right, I'm not. What I'm seeing here, let me actually go full screen. That doesn't change it. All right. What I'm seeing here is that all of my system metrics take up the entire screen. But for someone like me, I'm more interested in the links to the services that I want access to. I might see if there was a way to give the user the opportunity to prioritize whichever one is more important. If maybe services are more important to the user, maybe figure out a way to make that so that it can be moved to the top. Again, this is just me thinking about how I would do it, but I'm not a developer. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Again, that's just me thinking out loud. I do that a lot, but I dig it. I like, and add info on those services. You can. This is an ad blocker. I'm going to do that and save changes. Edit. So you can add some, but again, everybody's going to build a dashboard that works the best for what they want with their system. But yeah, no, I dig it. I think it's a good start. I like what you've done there. Let's take a look at Dashwise next. Hosting for a while, didn't find a dashboard that suits my needs and that I liked the look of. This is my attempt at solving that. Still under development, therefore only working features of the app are listed in the feature section. Integration with additional services planned, but will not be available until the widget implementation is completed. Awesome. Okay, dig this. Let's take a look. GUI editing, edit, manage links, search engines, your wallpapers via the GUI instead of relying purely on a config. I like that. Built-in authentication, and Dashwise has auth built right into it. And features SSO via OIDC, while tested with Pocket. It should work via OIDC, which can be configured in a Pocket base directly. Yeah, I do. And I'm going to leave it right there just for you, man. Links, your storage, your most important links for quick access. Dig that. Monitor your links. Customizable bits of one-line information next to the clock. Widgets, news, subscribe to RSS feeds. So definitely some inspiration from glances here, it seems. Again, don't have a problem with that. Well, I think I'm going to take my risks today. These are all environment variables, right? Yep, environment variables, more environment variables. Oh, that's for jobs. All right. For Pocket Base, Dashwise. Nice. All right. Tech stack, front end, API layer, Next.js. Backend is Pocket Base. On sign up, a JSON config is created for each user. It's available to get to the front to get okay. The make Dashwise possible. Love this. Contributions. Neat. Well, let's install it then. Once I find a Docker Compose, I think so we're using Node there. We're using Pocket Base there. I'm wondering, and it's fine. Oh, here we go. Let's do this. Yeah, we're going to use this one because then I don't have to build anything. I'll copy that. This is Dashwise. All right, so let's go back. Oops, come on. Let's clear my screen. mkdir Dashwise cd into Dashwise compose.yaml. Cool. All right. It's fine. Pocket Base. It's Pocket Base. I'm not going to change anything in here other than that. I think that's all fine. All right. Well, then let's do a Docker compose up -d, and let's see what happens. I think it's great that you guys are submitting this stuff because, like, obviously, I love looking at this, and I like that you guys are here in the community hanging out, sharing this as well. I love that. Give this a moment. Dashwise, what port? We're on 3016. All right. I can close some of this stuff. Almost there. This would probably go faster if I gave this this LXC more resources. I don't know what it's doing over here. It's fine. Thinking about it. Oops. Wow. All right. Cool. So choose how you'd like to sign in. We're going to log in. We're going to sign up. I'm assuming here I need to sign up. That's me. I like that you got the fallback login button there and to go along with this. Sometimes you click the wrong thing. I think that's a great little fail safe there. It is bright. I'll give it that. Create an account. Cool. We're redirecting. And now we're logging in. All right. Let's see. Oops. Okay, so there is a way to recover your thing there if you're an admin, or if you're not an admin. You can. Okay, that's cool. Log in. Close. All right. Internet Dashwise. Well done on having a couple of different things here. I like that to let people know that it's already there. I think that's great. Let's click. Let's click down here. There we go. All right. So wallpaper. Love that that's there. I love the. Oh, dude, this is great. So we can darken or brighten it. That's bonkers. Blur the wallpaper. Wow. Yeah, I like a good blur there. Accent color. I like the blue. A couple of different clock options. Man, let's go with that one. I want that. All right. Let's see here. All right. But is there a generic dark mode? That's a good question. Can we? Okay. I feel like, I don't know. I think you're just going to end up kind of building your own theme based on the background wallpaper and the colors that you choose. If we close this, I mean, that's not terribly, yeah, try a darker wallpaper. That was kind of what I was thinking, is that you're going to create your own theme by the wallpaper that you create. Am I missing something? No, interesting. So I've got my black accent color there. Weird. This one does look fun. I'm gonna do this again. Upload and apply. All right. Close. Whew. Okay, that's too much blur, it seems. Let's bring it down just a little bit. 2.5 is probably good. I'm going to close that. But what I notice has happened every time I adjust something here, my accent color resets. It was black. Now it's back to blue. And every time I change a setting in here, my accent color resets. I can't imagine once you get it set, you're going to be messing with it too much. Just an observation. Let's come down to like there. Let's do that. Close. Yeah. All right. So you can choose your search engine. All right. Oops. Ooh, oh, and then you can override. Is it like, is that it? Nope, that is definitely not it. PB Tech. Hey, look, it's me. I might consider having your clicker, press enter to open. Having your and then maybe a setting. I don't know. Having this opening in the same window is going to take people away. That's my website building brain. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's go to account. So this is me. I can change my password, multi-factor authentication if I want to implement Pocket Base, OIDC, whatever. Log out, import another config, export your config, or delete your account. Love that. Appearance, we spent a lot of time there so far. Glances. Okay, left one, right one. No dark mode yet. That's interesting. What is... what is left one, right one? This confuses me. I don't know what this is. Let's Springs search. Cool. F. Great. Save. Let's go back to here. Let's look. 56 degrees. Is that right? Interesting. I've got a very different number on my phone. So I don't know where it's getting this. That's fine. Again, just checking out. There's different things here. Glanceables. Hello. Interesting. All right. So links. Okay. So this is... Okay, and that's cool. This is I've looked at other dashboards that have multiple pages or whatever, and this is very intuitive. In others that I've looked at in the past, like you had to as you were building the link, you had to figure out some way to get it to go onto a certain page. And then once that was there, then you could toggle back and forth and it was confusing. And this seems pretty straightforward, honestly. Interesting. Okay. Sorry, I was coming back over here to see if you had an icon or something on your GitHub for that. Current icon picker. Dash. Oh, there it is. Right? I think that's what I saw down there. There we go. Dashwise. There it is. Yeah. I am. Come over to here. I want to go to links. I want to go to here. I want to edit this. So you got a status check. I like that. You've got this folder. Cool. Yeah, I would definitely consider adding an option to add opening in a new window for this. Again, I know part of that is my old like front-end web developer brain working there, but if I'm here, I may want to pop that open, and it's open. It just opens in the same window. So yeah, I might consider having the option to open these in a new tab. That'd be my big suggestion there. Search, we can turn these on and off. That's great. I'm going to turn that off. Turn that off for no particular reason. Google Images off, whatever, right? Redirect unknown shortcuts to, all right. Cool. Close. All right. Integrations. Receive alerts via topic-based push requests. Glanceables are the little widgets next to the clock. So Dover asks, with dashboards, what's the reasoning behind using a search engine within a dashboard? Okay, so fair question, right? So like when I open my browser, fresh or whatever, I get this. And rather than having to then, open a new window to search Google or whatever, I can just search Google from here. I can do that. And look, it just from right there, it's just kind of a quick thing. It's just to simplify and not have to open more windows to get where you're going to start with. And not all dashboards have this. Some do, some don't. Some allow you to disable it if you want to. But yeah, that's ultimately what it boils down to, I think, is that it's just kind of your start page. You can just from there you can type it in and off you go. Wanted to come back over to here. Notifications. Jellyfin, Karakeep, bookmarks. Okay, so we've got some integrations here. I receive alerts via topic-based push requests. Interesting. Receive alerts via topic-based push requests. Okay. Jellyfin monitoring with Dashdot or Bezel. All right. And of course, you'd have to have those set up and put in that information there. Change the opening behavior in general settings. Let's take a look there. Oh, hey, look. All right. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Colorado Springs. Search. Save. All right, let me go back to here. I'm curious. Nope, that is still... Oh, hey, look. There it is. Cool. All right, well, there you go. Thank you for clarifying that. Notifications, tokens, neat. So that was for the notification thing that I had turned on over here, I believe. I don't know. Some widgets. Overview. Calendar. Let's see. Can I bring this up to there? Close. So we can put that there, which I guess means that we could also move this all the way up. Ooh, come on. Interesting. Okay, so we can't move these widgets above these widgets, for lack of a better term there. Like I can't move this up to here, which ultimately I guess is fine since we've got all of this information up here. Just again, just exploring, kind of seeing what things do. Placeholder, right? Like I can put it above there, but I can't go above there. Okay. Just figuring stuff out at this point. I thought, okay. So this is set to Fahrenheit and I've done my weather location, right? Yeah, save. So Fahrenheit there. This is still giving me Celsius here. Again, just observation stuff. Let's see what else we have down here. So that's that. Okay. And in general, GitHub repo, dashwise, same tab, new tab, edit. Okay, we were just there. There. Got some integrations. And I guess you said you were working on more integrations and that sort of thing. So love that. I love the aesthetic here. I think it's great. Links, glanceables. Yeah, next to the clock. There's an edit in the widget box. Oh. Search. Yeah, that's fine. Save. Edit. Yeah, it lets me do that. It doesn't let me edit this. It doesn't let me edit Fahrenheit versus Celsius, which is again is whatever. And also that. Well, hold on. Let's close this. See that looks better. Oh, we scroll in here, huh? Yeah. I Expect. Doing an overflow. Sorry, I'm just curious about something here. So are we doing scroll width, overflow? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I feel like the overflow. Oh, screw off. I feel like this should be for the full thing here. Right? Like that. Like taking out or editing. Here, let's refresh this, right? Because right now, look, I don't argue that Celsius rules, right? Dumb American here. So we've got this scroll bar here in the middle of the page, and I think that distracts from the overall aesthetic of the page. And there's this overflow. Well, if we come down to here, and then we can scroll down to there, we can actually find the div. It's this div right here, right? That's got an overflow Y, and this. If I shut this off, we can just hide that. Oh no, man, you're good. Like I agree. Celsius is better. It makes more sense, especially since there's only like 4 countries in the world that use Fahrenheit. No offense. So what I would do in this case, Andrew, is I would come back up to here. Here, no, it's the min height. And on this, I would look for this and just take that out. Like that, was it that one? Oh, here, let me do this. And just do, was it that one? Anyway, you see what I'm getting at, where I would move that out, so that the, yeah, like that. Oops. Anyway, you know what I mean. could get behind US going fully metric. They tried to in the late 70s, early 80s, if I remember right. And then the president, whoever was president at the time when that happened, was like, no, we're not going to do that communist stuff. And so now, again, there are 4 countries in the world, I think, that use it as their primary measuring system. So, yeah, not hard enough. I agree. Yeah, like a base 10 system versus 12 inches in a foot and 3 feet in a yard and 5,280 feet in a mile. Like, what the F are we doing, man? There's no base 10, man. Just simplify things. Anyway, yeah, no, I think this is great. I really love the aesthetic. I love the customizability. There's some stuff in there that I don't quite understand. But overall, I love the overall aesthetic of it. I think this is a great thing here. It's ridiculous that you have to have 2 full tool sets to work on anything. Yeah, I agree. Like, I've had cars that were literally both metric and standard in different spots. Granted, they were used cars that may not have had all of the original bolts, but I've had cars that had both, and that's super frustrating. Yeah, I'm going to give that a star. I actually should have done that earlier. On where's this? I want this. Hold on. I want to do this as well. Give that a star as well. There we go. That's that. Cool. Let's close some of this out at least for a little while here, so we can kind of see what else we're working with here. Okay, this is Dashma. Dashboard start page. Dashma embraces the Japanese concept of ma. I hope I got that right. The beauty of negative space, clean distraction-free interface that lets your links breathe. Keyboard first navigation, navigate entirely with your keyboard. I've seen other dashboards like this. 1 through 9, jump to categories, arrow keys plus enter to select. Categories, so organization, categories, tags, multiple views. You can display as cards or minimal link text links. That's cool. Flexible column, 1 to 6 columns. That's crazy. Custom colors, fonts, and backgrounds, hover animations, and visual effects. This is, I think we're losing the plot here. I guess Ma is the beauty of negative space. Clean, distraction-free interface. Again, no public or no login required. This is all public. But there's also basic auth and Microsoft Entra ID. Interesting. Okay, everything is configured through a web GUI at /admin. No config files to edit, export, and import your configuration as a JSON for easy backup. Love that. Got our homepage, we've got our admin panel, and again, love seeing all of this in here. 6 columns for those that own really wide monitors. Yeah, I don't anymore. I used to. I had one. I don't remember what it was now. My wife's got it. It's a 3440 by 1440, like 34 inch. It's big, but it's got a Samsung panel in it, and there's the yellow line straight down, like the 3/4 mark, and it pisses me off. So I ended up getting some Asus ProArt displays, and she got my ultra wide, and even that was frustrating for her for a while because some of her favorite games, or one of her favorite games anyway, didn't support ultra wide for a long time. Oh damn. Okay. So that sucked quite a bit. One thing I'm not seeing in here is well, we saw it over here. So there's the AI assisted thing here, right? In the self-host newsletter. This is good. We like to see this at least acknowledged here. No, yeah, this one. But as I'm reading through this, I don't see any acknowledgement anywhere in here about being AI assisted until we get over to here and we can see that Claude was involved there. Again, no issue with that. This is from Lungshot. Not a lot going on in here. Repositories, there are 4. 5 days ago, December. What's this? What is this? Lungshot, I get back. Is this? Not really much going on here. Let's see. Game programmer, designer, web developer, Google verified. Best ICT student at Sri Lanka, award winner. Interesting. Huh. So this concerns me a little bit. Not that they're from Sri Lanka or whatever, right? It's that there's not a lot of information in here about the qualifications that they've used in order to code review any of this. Again, it's whatever. Would just like to know more about the code review process that they used. Also, I find it interesting that they haven't shared this on or haven't uploaded this to like hub.docker.com. Maybe it's a restriction of their area. I don't know. But so in order to use this, what I'm getting at is in order to do this, we're gonna have to clone the repository, which is fine. I'm gonna do mkdir. We're gonna call it dashma, and then we'll cd into. I know this is an extra step that I didn't need, but we'll do git clone, and we're gonna do that. Yeah, I thought that's what was gonna happen, but I wanted to make sure. I could have forced it, I guess, if it, whatever. Dashma, right? ls 2 nano docker compose. Right, I just want to see if there's anything here. Secure cookie, only set that to true if you're not behind a reverse proxy. Leave unset or false when behind that. So I guess I hate it when people use like a double negative. Set to true if not doing this. Like, there's other ways that could have been worded for people with dumb brains like mine. Leave unset or false when behind. Okay, this should be fine. Optional, set a custom session secret. I don't care for right now. It's on port 3000, but we're going to be on port 60 or 3685. That's all fine. I just want to do an ls-a just to see, nothing else there. All right. So we're going to do docker compose up-d, and we're going to build, and we're going to see what happens, and hopefully it works. This is the risk you run when you don't prep for your live streams. You never know how things are going to go. It seems to be doing the thing, so that's cool. I dig that. We'll give this a minute to do its thing. Everything's building wonderfully. I'm stoked to see that, and relatively quickly. It's creating directories for uploads and that sort of thing. Awesome. It's creating the Dashma container. That's great. All right, so that worked. Outstanding. Love it. So like 3685, I think, was the port, because it changed, right? I'm pretty sure it was 3685. Oops. 3685. Hey, look, it's there. It looks good. Google Drive, open in a new tab there. That's great. GitHub, awesome. All right. Stack Overflow, Twitter, Reddit. Awesome. Easy stuff there. Cool. So in order to edit this, then we're just going to go to admin, and we're going to do admin. And that's not correct. I read that wrong, apparently. I thought it was admin, but yeah, default credentials, admin. Did I miss something? Admin. Neat. Hold on. Was there something in, oops, let's do here, nano, come on, Docker compose. Did I miss something here? I wonder, it shouldn't be the cookie thing, right? Because let's look at our network, console. You know, I was kind of wondering that too. Let's do Docker P. Oh, geez. Docker logs dash f dashma. Nope. Jeez. Does not. Okay, we're gonna change that. Super weird, right? Transition is here. Been brutal at work, man. That sucks. Well, I'm glad you got a break. I'm sorry your day's going rough, man. That's never fun. Let's do nano Docker compose. This is, and I wonder if this is what the issue is right here, right? This is why I don't like double negatives in statements like this. We're going to recreate that. We've already built it. We're going to recreate it, and we're gonna see what happens here, because I have to wonder if it was the secure cookie thing. There we go. Right, no, screw off. Admin. Hey, look, that was the issue. So new username, it's gonna be dbtech. And update. All right, cool. So again, that's, yeah, no, we tried that, man. We did, I promise. The issue that we were having was this line right here in the Docker Compose, where this led me astray. The wording on it wasn't great. Leave unset or false when you're behind a reverse proxy. Not behind a reverse proxy, which told me that this needed to be set to true. It didn't. I left it. I switched it back to unset, and then I was able to do the thing. Cool. So site title name, dashma, title size, large. Cool. You can adjust that. I love that. You can also align it left, center, or right. I'm actually curious about that. I want to, that's a really long page. Not bad, just long. Let's see. Okay. All right. So you can switch that. Wow. There's a lot of great stuff in here. All right. So left, center, right. Great. We're going to do that. Title hover effect. All right. You've intrigued me. We're going to click save. And we're going to refresh. That was, wait, what? Large, title link URL, title hover effect, show site title, or you can disable that. So site title, right? I thought it should be doing something. Let's try glow. Let's try something simple here, right? Save. Refresh. Okay. So there it glued. I don't know. I don't know what the past tense of glow is. Fade, scale, underline, hacked, glitch. Let's try glitch, and then we'll move on, because otherwise I'll just spend all my day doing this. Oh, little jiggle there. All right, cool. What else we got? Site logo. You can do a logo if you want. You can use a site favicon, a custom logo. Love that. Logo size, logo position, logo alignment. This is all great. I love that. I don't know that we need a site logo there. I'm going to uncheck that. Colors, you can adjust the background color, text color, accent color, tag color. Man, background image, you know we got to do it. You know we got to do it. We're going to scroll down, click save. I just want to see what happens. Okay, wow. I hope there's a way to change that translucency. Tag background. Oh yeah, there is. Let's change that to like 8 instead of 1, or 0.8 versus 0.1. All right, so that's for tags. All right, that's something. All right. Category background. Oh, so we do have translucency on all of this. That's brilliant. I'm going to change all of these, to 0.8, not 0. Oh, wow. Okay. We're going to change all of those to 0.8 so that we can, have it look atrocious. Let's see. Category background. I want something in kind of the blues. Let's do something like that. Link card background. Let's also do that. Oh no, are you kidding me? Oh no. Interesting. So if you select something here, right, it autofills the hex. So 6992 146. 69 92 146, and then we're going to do a 0.5 on that. We're just going to copy and paste that over to there. Let's do this. There we go. That's a little better. I can change this later. I went blind for a second, right? All right, so Purebyte says, I see 2 feedback. Make the save button show that it's saved. I agree with that. Add a save button to page so you don't have to always scroll down. Yeah, those are actually 2 things that I was also thinking. I think you could take this and do something like, well, just do this in real time, I guess. Let me make sure that, yeah, we can do that, right? And we could do something like a position of absolute. We can do like left, we'll do like 50 pixels, and bottom, oops, if I could type, of like 150 pixels, right? Maybe. Ooh. Didn't. Maybe. Where did it go? Oh. There's a way you can make this float, right? Like you could, and obviously this isn't it, because it's not basing it on, yeah, that's what I was afraid of. It's not basing it on where we are here. Anyway, there's a way that you can make that float. So yeah, so that it follows you. And that should be, I think, over in the left column, right? 100% agree, because having to scroll all the way down to do that kind of sucks. But again, still in development, whatever. So link card, category background. So category background, link card. And then we've also got text color. We got accent colors, tag background. That's right. I could literally spend all day on this. Text color, link card background, category background. Let's change this to like 0.2, and then we're going to move on. We'll do a reset if we have to. Yeah, we'll just do a reset. It's fine. Just wanted to kind of see how that worked, but I love that both you can use either hex or RGBA. I love that those are options. I think that's great. Custom manual colors. Oh, hey, look, there's a whole friggin' theming system in here. Are you kidding me? For real? I missed that entirely. Hey, look, he's built a whole theming. I say he, I don't know, a whole theme system into this, or you can do manual colors. Holy crap. I like that a lot. That's great. Let's see. I mean, I don't necessarily like those colors, but can I have a save button under? Under each section, you could. I think the font. Yeah, I'm sure there's a thing in here about fonts. Title size, glitch, colors, background image, typography. Yeah, lots of fonts in here as well. So for body font and title font, I might go like Roboto for that. Pure Bytes, thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate you being here. Courier, let's do Lato. Sure, why not? Save, refresh. Fun stuff there. Yeah, no, this is great. I like this a lot. And we're only looking at the appearance so far. Layout, 3-column, display cards, new tab, same tab, show link icons, fave icons, show category backgrounds, disable for compact view. Love that. Animations, we kind of looked at those earlier. Category hover. Again, so this is category hover effect. Let's see what that does. A little fade there. Little fade. I dig that. That's great. It's animations. Neon pulse, and then we'll move on and just see kind of what else we can do here. All right. Cool. So we can nesting animation, we can slide, zoom, all kinds of stuff. We can add a footer if you want. Request link, show request link. Interesting. I don't know what that does. What does that do? I'm curious now. Request link addition. Oh. All right. DevTools, TB live category request. All right. And hey, look, there's a request right there. That's pretty neat. All right. I dig it. You can submit a link to be added for those who don't have the rights to change it. View only people. Yeah, that's what I'm noticing here. That's pretty neat. Request a link. Like GitHub. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Tech YT. Because there's already a GitHub link. YouTube.com/dbtechyt. Select category. Social. YouTube. There we go. DB Liver. Submit. Cool. Back to here. Hey, look, we've got another request. So link requests. Let's approve it. Let's see what happens. Genuinely curious. Back to dashboard. Hey, look, there it is. It added it automatically. Though it did not pull the correct fave icon there, but that's really neat. I dig that a lot. I like that a lot. So that's appearance categories. So we've got different categories: social, productivity, development. We've got 3. So what happens if I add what if I do this? Homelab. Save. Cool. Links. Add a link. Proxmox. I'm gonna grab this. Oops. This is gonna go under Homelab. Custom icon. I don't have an icon here, so I guess I'm gonna steal another one from over here. I'm gonna grab that link address. Paste that right there. Open behavior, new tab, enable status monitoring. Sure. Oof. I wonder if it will allow the port is right there. Save. Cool. Let's look. Okay. I wondered what would happen if we added a 4th. Hey. Oh, she's bringing me hot beverages. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So yeah, I was curious as to what would happen here if we added a fourth to a 3-column. It was kind of the logical explanation there. But of course, then there's the matter of we go to appearance and we scroll down. We go to 4 columns and scroll down and click save. Again, I agree that save needs to like confirm that it's saved. All right. So it's definitely truncating some things here. And again, I'm not zoomed in. I feel like 4 columns cards. Let's try this. Save. That looks a little better, I think. If you don't want the cards, if you want it to just be a little simpler, I don't hate this. But I think without the card, you don't get the uptime verification thing. I don't know. Text only new tab, cards. Maybe I'm not seeing it anyway. Huh. Let me go back to links. GitHub, this one, edit. Oops, cancel. Proxmox, edit. Enable status monitoring, yeah. I don't see a status. I don't see a status here. And that's fine. But yeah, I'm not seeing a status. So that's something, I suppose. Anywho, so that's, I mean, obviously adding links and categorizing them is what you would expect it to be, which I don't think is great. Add a widget, server monitor, clock, weather, iframe embed, custom HTML. Let's add this alignment, left, widget title, Proxmox, add a server, oops, Proxmox, set the interval for quicker ping. Yeah, that's why I'm just kind of leaving it sit there for a minute while we do this, just to see if that changes anything, right? So we'll do 8006, click test, cool. We'll do Jarvis as well, 192.168.0.18, and that's gonna be on port 5001. Test, awesome. Display options, we can list them vertically, grid, or compact. 2 columns, item styling, card with background, text only, minimal, icon and name, text style. Border radiuses for styling, all kinds of stuff there. Let's click save. Let's refresh. So we've got that. Oh, hey, look, there it is. It just took it a minute. There's our little indicator. So yeah, it needed to sit for a minute to ping that. What I will say though is that I feel like it would be nice. Because I've got. Oh, you know what? Let's remove. Oh, you suck. Let's close that and reopen it. I want to remove Jarvis from that. Okay, wait a minute. Proxmox. There it goes. That was weird. Save. Yeah. So I wish this was also clickable, I think. I know it's down here, but that's kind of not the point. It would be nice to have that clickable. Again, preferential, I guess. Server monitor, add a clock. Let's do it there. Fixed top. Yeah, full width left, fine. Let's do center. And save and refresh. Whoa. Huh. Okay, that's a lot. Don't want to do that. Header fixed top. Left sidebar, right sidebar. Let's just do above categories then. Click save. refresh. All right. Can I? No, failed to save order. Okay, I want this. I want these to change order, and it will not allow me to do that. Huh. That's unfortunate because I really want those in the other order. All right. Well, that's widgets, I guess. Custom HTML weather. Did you set a static? Did you set a static position for the server data? I guess maybe I'm not sure what you're asking. Setting there was overriding the drag and drop. Like the only thing I did was server monitor said position was above categories, which is the same thing I did for the clock or whatever. Said full width, I said left. All of these are the same on both of them. Gave it a title, enabled it. Display mode list vertical. I mean, do auto fit maybe? I don't think that's going to make any difference. Let's do alignment. Yeah, like none of this. I wouldn't think that any of this would have any impact on it, but card glass effect. I don't know. Let's try that and see. But yeah, I don't see any way to actually do that. Yeah, maybe. Again, we're just kind of digging through just to see what happens here. Let's delete that. Requests we looked at already. I guess we could approve that. And then if we come back over to here, dev tools, new category. So that's kind of cool. Dig that. Authentication. Do basic or Microsoft Entra ID SSO. No interest in doing that. Controls access to the main dashboard for regular users. So you can make the dashboard public, and then, or you can put it behind authentication, which is great. I actually really dig that. Yeah, SSO baked in. Yeah. Now, in fairness, it's this SSO. Got to go see if they got any busy work for me today. Well, I hope that works out in your favor, whichever direction you want that to be. You can download the config. Let's look at that just once. It sure is. Hey, come here. There we go. Yep, that's our config right there. So that's something. And then our account. Again, username, password. Oh, view site, that's over there. Dig that. Let's go to widgets again. Let's edit this. Item style, card with background, minimal. Let's do that. Hover effect, nope. Vertical, grid, column, auto fit, sure, save. Curious. Yeah, I don't know. Crazy stuff. Yeah, I just really wish it would let me change the order of those things. All right, there's definitely a confirmation there to let you know that things are going to get deleted. I dig that. I like this. I think this is good. It doesn't seem to have multi-account, or did I see wrong? It does have multi-account. Yep. So if we log out, I think anyway, maybe not. Admin. Nope, I lied. Just one account. Check this out when I get home. Yeah. So apparently, no. Apparently, there is no multi-account. Unless you use authentication, man, I don't know. Or sorry, unless you use SSO. Nope, it's not that one. It's this one. Maybe it is just simple username and password with guided setup wizard. I don't know. Set admin / login / admin / login. Yeah, but that's I don't think. Yeah, like if I just go to login, it just redirects to the home page. So I am wondering if it's just a single user account. Because I don't see anything in here to control other accounts. Yeah, you really only need one account to modify, and the rest just goes to the public site to use. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Is like if you wanted to create a family dashboard for something, that might be its use case in that regard anyway. And if somebody in your home needed or wanted you to add something, you could do a link, request here and request a category or a link. So I don't know, but overall, I like the general aesthetic of it. I feel like I'd have to play with it a little bit more to decide whether or not I actually wanted to implement this. Let's do Tokyo Night. That sounds fun. Oops, and then view site. Oh, just kind of a cyberpunk kind of thing there. Is there a widget for adding your own search? That's a good question. Let's go up here to widgets, add a widget. Not directly. Server monitor clock, weather, iframe embed, or custom HTML. Custom HTML can pose security risks, only use trusted content. I agree with that. I don't see something here that would allow you to do that. Can you shrink the heading dash? Yeah. So you can, so the title size, and if we could do that, you can shrink it down like that. Or you can, I think you can turn it off entirely. Yeah, you can turn it off entirely if you want. However you want to handle it. Site title, sure, blur in, medium, center, left, or right. And you can have that title link to something else. So DB Tech Live. Oops. And then if we do this, right, and then come over to here and then grab this and say share and copy, then we can do this and we can remove that share ID and we can scroll down and click on save changes and we can refresh. And then if we click this, we can go to our live stream. So, that's something you can do. But yeah, I think it'd be cool if they did add a widget for search. I think that would be fun. If you could add a widget type, I don't know. Maybe you can add an HTML widget for something like searching or whatever. But yeah, I kind of dig it. I think it's an interesting idea. Let's see, layout cards. Let's do text only, kind of like that. Save changes, and then view site. Yeah, I think that looks good. I might change the glow effect, but yeah, simple HTML embed should take care of it. Yeah, as long as searching has an embed option, then that should be a doable thing there. So I don't know. I haven't used searching in a long time, so I don't know. Yeah. I dig this. I think it looks good. I like all of the customization you can do with it. Would definitely be curious to see how much more the developer does with it. Where were we here? Is this, no, that's Dashma. That's the one we're on right now, right? Yeah, that's the one. Cool, because I wanted to see. They've been actively developing it, which I appreciate. Oh, excuse me. 2 months ago, last month, 5 days ago. So they're doing stuff, and I appreciate that. Did they? Yeah, they didn't. All right. So I dig this. I think this has got some potential as well. I want to do that. Yeah, it gained a couple more stars while we were in here. That's great. I think this is cool. I hope to see them do more with this, and add some different features and that sort of thing. I'm not seeing any issues in here or any pull requests. But yeah, I'd love to see what they continue to do with it. Let's see. I think we've got a couple more in here. There's Leet. There's Mando. That's Dashma. That's the one where we are right now. Whew, I think I just had a stroke. What, Chris? Ooh, all right. I'm gonna wait for a response on that. So now we've got two left here. So the first one is Leet Container Dashboard. Monitor and control your local and remote Docker containers with style and zero config. And then we've got this one. This is Mando, which is a beautiful and simply dashboard. Okay. We've had a couple of releases on this. Let's look at this. So, would we rather look at Mando? This one is does require YAML to configure, or there's this one, and this one doesn't require. Looks like Heimdall. Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? Let's save the other one for later, just because there's YAML involved, and this one doesn't seem to have YAML involved. And we'll see how my brain's doing in the next little bit. So what is this? This one is Leet. Let's take a look at Leet. It's a shortcut to search. Okay, well that's good. There is search for that. Sorry, when I referenced search, and you're right, this is here. It was in the docs. Some of the other dashboards that we looked at also had had like a search that would like do a search on, Google or DuckDuckGo or something like that. That's the kind of search I think we were talking about. But you're right that search is there for links. So so that is definitely there. But no, thank you for pointing me to that, because you're right. There's just two different types of search that have been talked about, I think, during this. So thank you. Yes, the search engine versus internal search, right? Thank you for clarifying that as well. But I like that. I think it's great that you can do that. Type in GitHub, and that's actually pretty handy as well. I've seen other things that do that. So if I do like DB Tech or just DB, I can hit enter right there and it opens it up. So that's super handy. Love that. I'm actually really glad you mentioned that, because I might have missed it otherwise. Reddit and just like that. The internal search makes it even better for my own use. Yeah, I think that's, again, I'm glad that Chris said that, because otherwise I would have glossed over it. Google Drive, there it is. Just that easy. You don't have to like scroll around. You can just hit the thing with your pinky and open up the search and type in the letters and hit enter, and it opens it up. That's pretty cool. That's another. It is only internal at the time of recording this live stream. For right now, it is just that. Like if I typed in, like, well, that's not helpful. Facebook, nothing, right? Like no search for that. So it's only going to pull up what's been added to your dashboard here. It's not going to do any like internet searches for you. So no, Chris, again, thank you for pointing that out, because that's pretty cool. Oh, hey, you can do that too. Neat. All right. Kind of a fun little animation there on the highlight. Don't know if it was intentional or not, but it's there. Can you? No. Neat. Well, I dig it. Let's take a look at Leet here and see how that goes. Again, just because it's got the or it doesn't have the YAML requirements for editing. Oops, geez, if I could type. Let's do mkdir. We'll just call it Leet dash. We'll cd into Leet dash. We'll do nano compose dot YAML, and we'll do that. Cool. So we're not going to change anything there other than this. We'll do 3003 there. Everything else is fine. And I'm only changing that because I think I'm already using port 3000. So we're going to do that. We're going to do docker compose -d. We'll give this a minute to do its thing. And then we'll just get this prepped for that. Pulled fast enough. That's great. Love that. Okay, you're about to create an OG admin account. I dig it. And I appreciate that was the first thing. It's like, bro, you can't even start or look at this until you create an account. So that's what we're going to do. Outstanding. All right, so we've done that. Local. Wow, holy cow. Right, I thought that was pretty funny too. All right, so this is our dashboard, right? And we didn't talk about it at all, but we can. Username or the developer, his dashboard, latest tag, port 3000, cookie secret, remote server key chain or remote servers key. This right here, of course, is our Docker socket so that we can see this. This is our local server. It's at least what we've got in here for right now. 2 cores, 2 gigs of RAM. This is for the LXC that we're using. This isn't the upstream system, the actual piece of hardware. This is the LXC that we're in. And here we can see all of the containers that are on this system. That is bonkers. Okay, let's start up here at the top. We've got Arcane and Arcane Postgres because I was messing with that a while back. Wow, all right. So we can remove it, we can start it, we can stop it, we can restart it. I'm going to go ahead and remove it just to see. We're going to remove those and see what happens. Nice. Yeah, so it's removing them. It says it's removing them. We're going to give that a second to see what happens because I am genuinely curious. Oh, that's good. Okay, it stopped. That's weird. Yeah, restart management, right? And what I dig about this is like, here's Dashma that we deployed a minute or 37 minutes ago. Hey, look, those are gone now. So that's pretty cool. So here we can see we've got this port. Okay, it tried to open localhost. So I'm wondering if somewhere down here, there's a setting that we'll see later to put in an IP address. Because like if you look in the bottom left-hand corner of this browser window, it says localhost on port 3685. So that's there. But again, I have to wonder, why are there 2 of them? That's weird. Oh, because this is this is the stack, and this is the container that's running under it. So like, and dash wise, it's actually, here's the stack, and here are the 3 containers running under it. That's brilliant. I love that. And of course, we can also see how long it's been up, what its status is, and what it's using for CPU, memory, network, and disk. This is great. I love this. And again, we can scroll down, coffin shopping list, right? I don't need that. So I could click that, come up to here and say, remove it, and say, yeah, remove it. Okay, removed successfully. And it's working on it. It's got a little ahead of itself up there saying that it was removed. It is removing it. So Elite Dash, that's where we are right here. Name tag from our live stream a couple of weeks ago, I think. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. But again, the full compose file is there. And all of the containers in there. So it probably show up. So that's actually a good question. What was the first, what did we just remove a second ago? Arcane. So there, okay. So Arcane is there, right? Let's do this again. LS, C Arcane, LS. Yeah, the compose is still there. Like it didn't actually remove the compose or the folder that it's in. But it recognized, or like, but it still removed it. So that's great. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. So that's cool. Like it will, you can take a container or a stack down without actually removing the Docker compose file. That's pretty neat, really. And of course, like that's all like, well, let's scroll down. We get the idea of how this part works, right? Of course, if we wanted to, like with Dashma, we could click there and we could restart it. Do you want to, and it says, hey, do you want to do this? It could, or that will briefly interrupt service. Cool, do that. And here it says it's restarting. Yeah, I agree. I really like seeing individual container resource usage as well. Like this is pretty neat. But honestly, when I saw this, I was a bit apprehensive, but I had no context of what we were getting into here, right? And I think if I were to drag this out a little bit, yeah. So part of this is you're going to stay behind my head for a minute. Right? Because otherwise it goes clear to the bottom. So over here on this, which also means it's responsive, right? So if you pulled this up on your phone, you could pull this up on your phone, right? So like, here's all your permissions down there. Scroll up, here's your user management up here. So this is one of those things that you could deploy and access it on your phone, your tablet, your whatever. In fact, let me actually look at this on my phone. And maybe I can show you. We'll do 192.168.0.205 on 3003. Let me get logged in. Yeah, well, sort of. Like, here. Like you got to kind of like slide back and forth, but like it's all there. You just gotta move around a little bit. So you could absolutely do that. I wonder. Oops. Can I go forward again? I wonder if this has the option to install as a PWA. That doesn't matter. Anyway, the responsive it's tablet friendly. I don't know if I go as far as to call it like cell phone friendly, but I guess that's going to depend on your resolution. So let's bring this back over to here. Let's drag this out a little bit again, just so. Oh, right. There it is. All right. So we can see, apparently we can add more servers. I haven't got that far yet. Oh, right there. User management. We can add more users, it looks like. Yep, add user. Their role, viewer, operator, or admin. I love that. That's pretty cool. Let's go to server management next. Let's edit this. Okay, so this is 192.168.0.205. Sure, why not? And then let's go back to our dashboard, right? This is what I wanted to see. Okay, I did something wrong there. Edit. Name, password enabled. Cancel. All right, is there a way to save? Edit? Sorry, again, I'm trying to see. Maybe I have to log out and log back in. I don't know. Because like it's showing this up here correctly, right? But here it's still showing local host. And that is weird for me. I wonder if maybe it's something in here. It is not. But while we're here, title, slogan, so stuff for like the homepage there, theme, dark or light, show container resources, so show server resources, show image name, show container hash, disable attribution footer if you want. You can change your background. This is currently what it is. Fine. Server management. Let's add a remote server. We're going to come over to here. We're going to grab, sure, let's grab this. I don't know what the IP is on that. IPA, it's on 245. All right. So OMV, 192.168.0.245. Let's try that. Let's try that. Switch. I probably, oh, hey, look, never mind. That worked. All right, well, that's cool. I logged in as my Open Media Vault user right there. And it seems to have worked. Advanced. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, guys. That's pretty crazy. 8080. That one, oh, that one doesn't work anyway. That's fine. I don't even remember what that was. That's pretty cool. Like, so if I switch back, right? This still says localhost. That's frustrating. I wonder if there's something in the Docker Compose? There's not. All right, well, fair enough. Server management. That's fine. Edit. Fine, let's do this. Because, why not? Save. Root at. Wonderful. Go to dashboard. Sure doesn't change that. That's so weird. I don't know why it's doing that, but whatever. I just kind of wish it wouldn't. Right? Ask Smitty. Yeah, no, this is better than I thought it was going to be, if I'm honest. This is DocMon. Let's add one more. We're going to add 140 to this as another server, because let's just see what we can do here. We'll call it DocMon, IP address, root, password, create. There's that. Don't care. Back to dashboard. Here's DocMon. Let's switch to DocMon. We'll give this a second to load up. And just like that, 2 cores, 2 gigs of RAM. Nope. Switch. Oh, did it not like that? Did it freak? Unavailable. Okay, well then let's go back to our server management. DocMon. Did I do that wrong? 140. Okay, let's log in with a different user then. Edit. DB tech. Oops. And I may have just fat fingered that, which is entirely likely. Go back to here. DocMon switch. Oh, hey, there it goes. And there it is, just like that, easy enough. And then, yeah, it automatically pulled that up for that. So I'm a big fan of Leet. I got to say, I'm a big fan of Leet. Now, of course, it doesn't give you the option here to deploy things from here, which is, whatever. But like, because if we go back to local, yeah, like I said, there's no way here to, like, if you've removed something, even though there's a Docker Compose on the server, there's no way to pull that back up from what I can tell. There's Nimbus running healthy. Yeah, no, there's no apparent way to bring up a container that's been removed, even if there is a Docker Compose there, which is kind of unfortunate, but whatever, not a huge deal. But I love this. This is great. Do we have a fourth one that we could add? Got that. We've only got 3 on here. That's a VM. I don't want to get into that. Yeah, there was something about this screenshot for some reason that put me off, and I don't know what it was. And that's totally a me issue now, especially now that I've looked at it. Oh, you know what? I could do this. Let's add one more. Let's add one more because I'm curious. Let's go to server management, add a remote server. Oops. Jarvis. It does look very promising. I agree with that. Oops. Let's try that. Save this. Back to dashboard. There's Jarvis. Let's switch and just see. Loading dashboard data. That's a good sign. Give this a moment. Nope, it did not like that. Let's try that again. Let me edit this again, because it is entirely possible that I fat fingered that. All right, back to dashboard. Switch to Jarvis. Switch. Nope, it does not want to do that, and that's fair. Let me try one more thing on that. Server management. Don't think. Host IP, display, yeah, oops. I don't think that's going to work, but whatever. Jarvis, switch, maybe. This would work for all my script LXC on my server because most are Docker and LXCs. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking as well. Yeah, no, it really doesn't want to load Jarvis, and that's fine. It was worth a shot though. But yeah, I just have to wonder, like, what happens when you start filling this up, because as you switch to different ones here, and they load fast once they've actually connected, they load really fast, which I think is great. Super happy with this one. That's really neat. Let's look at dashboard settings again. Oh yeah, we already looked at this. Image name, container hash, disable attribution footer. And like, I appreciate that that's an option. Took that out of there, but let's put that back for right now. Dashboard user management and server management. Yeah, man, I think that's pretty neat. Restart the host, all of the permissions that you get, how long some of this has been up and running. Yeah, I dig that a lot. That's very cool. And I like the resource usage both at the the LXC level, down to the individual container level. I think that's cool. Let's switch to that. And here we can see everything that's running there. It's very cool, guys. I'm really glad that we took a look at that, because if we have Proxmox connections, that would be great, right? You know what? Let's do that actually. Let's try it. Let's see what happens here. Because we can let's do this. Let's go to server management, and let's edit Jarvis. Let's put that in, prox_tut, save. Yeah, although I don't have Docker connected there, so yeah, I don't have Docker directly there. Yeah, it was worth a shot. Because really, you don't want to. You want to connect to that via an API, I think. But no, I think this is cool. Good, just a quick overview there. Yeah, you get this set up with like an uptime monitor solution that notifies when stuff goes down. Have a pretty good setup with that, I think. All right. Well, we're gonna forego. We're gonna forego this one. I think this Mando, not because I don't care, but because my brain is starting to be all weird on me. Like I'm getting kind of dizzy and lightheaded, and I feel like if I try to push myself into YAML, I might cry. And I'm only like half kidding when I say that. So we're not gonna get into Mando. I'm sure it's great. Yeah, no YAML today. Again, I think it's probably great or whatever. But one thing I want to do real quick. I actually do want to come over here and give that a star. And you should too if you like this, because I'm super impressed. Super impressed with that. So yeah, that was. I'm really glad we got a chance to do that and take a look at some of those. Even though they've all got some sort of AI assistance on them, be careful with what you give things access to. And always test on non-production hardware if you can. If you can't virtualize a VM and restrict access to the rest of your stuff and test there. I will say this maybe it was also partially this. When I read this yesterday, created in 6 hours by Eldar, I'll F that up, with 99% of Codex 5.3 and Klein VS Code extension. So Codex 5.3, is OpenAI's coding agent. So, for 6 hours, that's not too bad. One other thing I wanted to look at here, since we did it to other people, I guess. I'm interested in software development, CNC machining, electronics, 3D design. How to reach me. I develop HSM Advisor and FS Wizard machinist calculators that do speeds and feeds machining centers. So this guy's got a software developer background. Software developer is a paid hobby. So yeah, it looks like, he's got repositories here. Leads container dashboard was updated 54 minutes ago. So that's interesting. So some of this stuff goes back 2021, 2020, 2019. And again, just because he's got repositories that go back that far doesn't necessarily mean anything. But I think there's a development background there, overall. So I would hope that they would have the ability to do some code review and that sort of thing. But again, you should always take care of making sure that you look through the code, make sure that you feel comfortable deploying it. So yeah, that was neat. I really liked that a lot. I didn't mean to click that. Look over here real quick. What else do we have? Because again, I don't want to get into YAML stuff. I don't think that would do my brain any good. But I feel like there's definitely a couple of options in here of things that I might be interested in taking a look at, and maybe replacing my homepage instance over here with something a little different. But again, man, it's all of this data right here just being right there. You guys can't see my screen. All of this data right here being so quickly available is really, really nice. And I don't know if I want to give that up because that much information, that's not down. That's absolutely up. That's dumb. I don't know why that says down. It is not. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of really cool stuff out there that I will probably never use, no matter how great it is, because the stuff I have in place just works. What is that? Yeah, that's where we just were. So I don't know, guys. I would love to know what you guys think about what dashboard is that one? Oh, this one. This one's homepage. Oops, sorry. This one's homepage, but this one's all YAML based. So, there's that. One dashboard for each day of the week, right? This just gives me quick access to the information that I most likely need. That's why I like homepage and deal with YAML. Yeah, pretty much. And I think that's what keeps me here is that just, like this whole left column was down. This was down because for other reasons that I'll talk about in a second. This icon was missing, and my uptime Kuma was so out of date because I had changed so many things in my Homelab within the last since I updated this last that this was just wrong. Wish there was a Docker or a dashboard that could show all Docker containers from all servers in one page, right? Yeah, it would probably require agents to connect the database or the dashboard to the other hosts. We've seen, I think Dockhand can do that with the Hauser plugin. Maybe it's not Dockhand, but one of the things we looked at recently as a Portainer replacement had the ability to do something like that to connect to other like LXCs or other VMs or whatever. And they used the Hauser agent to make that connection and pull that information in. I think you could do something similar to that with a dashboard. It'd be an interesting thing to try. But again, I'm just not enough of a developer to undertake that project. But yeah, with I feel like what I may end up doing because I'm dumb is move. Yeah, Dockhand and Arcane can do that. That's what I was thinking. Okay, thank you guys for clarifying that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of really cool stuff about Komodo, but man, I don't want to switch right now. Like if I was rebuilding from scratch, like if I was building a whole new Homelab from scratch with LXCs and VMs and all of that, I would absolutely start with Komodo. But I'm 6 years in on Portainer, and I've run into issues when trying to redeploy an existing container with a new platform. It was probably something I was doing wrong. I admit that, but until I get some other things figured out, I don't want to do that to myself. So, but yeah, I think there's a couple of really cool things that we looked at here. A few different things we looked at today that I think are pretty cool. Again, I like Leap more than I thought I would, for being able to scroll through and kind of see what's going on. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff in there. And everything we looked at, well, at least 3 of the things we looked at today were AI assisted. And nothing jumped out and screamed at me like, hey, this is bad. But I think it's important to be aware of what you're deploying and taking a look at it in a deeper, more meaningful way. if you're going to try to deploy it in a production environment. So yeah, that's kind of what I think. And I'm sure that at least the vast majority of you would agree with me to some degree. So yeah. But I don't think I've got anything else at this point. Like I said, my brain's kind of rolling around doing its own thing in there a little bit, it shouldn't be. I took my meds, I ate breakfast, I've had my coffee. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I want to thank everybody for hanging out. We've actually been at this for like 2.5 hours, which surprises me. I didn't know we'd go that long. But I'm glad we did. I'm glad we had some people come and hang out for a while and chat and share their projects with us in real time so we could look at those. I'm really glad that I got to spend part of my day with you guys and hang out and chat. So that's all pretty cool. I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of my day, but it's probably going to be as little as possible. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, however much of that you've got left. Sounds like some of you were actually at work and kind of listening to this in the background, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm gonna probably go find some lunch and maybe find something to do for a little while. But yeah, maybe I'll go put on some old. Maybe I'll put on some Twilight Zone or some. I've been watching Twilight Zone and Alfred Hitchcock Presents, like the original ones from the 1950s, and those have been a lot of fun. It's been kind of fun to see origin stories for things that didn't happen for 30 more years. It's been a lot of fun. So maybe I'll go do some of that. But anyway, hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you again here real soon in an upcoming video. And probably another live stream next Saturday. So anyway, have a good one. Talk to you soon.